Just call Monica, your realtor, at 310-993-4943. That's 310-993-4943.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to Boss Lady Conversation, Season 4. Can you believe it, Boss Ladies? We're so happy to have you with us today. As you know, we're here to empower and inspire one another as we navigate all of the complexities of life, work, and everything in between. We know it's a lot, and we're in it together. My name is Coach Kaya. I'm a boss lady, wife, boss wife, mompreneur, sister, writer, and certified transformational coach. What do? I help people find tools to live their best lives today in this moment, because in this moment is really all we have. And I'm so proud to be here with my girl, Monica L.
Hi, Boss Lady community. Yes, I am Monica L here with my amazing sister, Coach Kaya. Who am I? I'm a boss lady. Boss, 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 boss. Cleveland born, LA raised on a journey of freedom and happiness as an educator, self-published author, entrepreneur, and a realtor. I get my strength through Christ. And we are here. We are on Instagram. We are on all social media platforms. And more importantly, we are happy to have you here with us today for season 4. Thank you so much.
Yes. Today we're talking about embracing grief, a journey of healing and empowerment. Now we know that this can be a really tough topic. It's not a topic that people often give permission to discuss, but we know that as boss ladies, we have to look at our lives in a complete circle. We have to come full circle. We have to recognize that grief is a universal experience and it's something that we struggle to talk about. So today we're exploring the process of grief and how to find healing, how to explore what healing looks like for you. A quote that I heard a while ago that really stuck with me was learning to live without someone is basically like learning to live with a different version of yourself who doesn't have them here physically. And I think we don't realize that. Sometimes we expect to still show up the same when we're experiencing grief. And maybe you have to also grieve that part of yourself. So today we're talking about that. And we're not just talking to each other. We have a very special guest for you, Monet Farcole. She is a certified grief recovery specialist and life coach who helps individuals and organizations navigate significant life transitions. That includes death, divorce, health challenges, you name it. She understands when you're transitioning in life and that it can be hard and it can be a form of grief. She utilizes the grief recovery method. She educates her clients on the realities of grief. She debunks myths and promotes healthier ways to process loss. Monet's experience with loss really fuels her passion for how she supports others through their grief journeys. And she's going to share all of that with us today.
Welcome, Monet. We are so glad to have you on Boss Lady Conversations, Season 4 with Coach Kaya and Monica L. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you.
We're so excited to have you. And it's just you're such a wonderful person to come and share with the boss ladies, because most times people don't give boss ladies an opportunity to process anything, much less grief.
Yes.
So we are here today. And just to kick things off, Monet, can you explain what grief is and why it's so challenging for people to talk about, to process, to experience everything?
Well, grief is really a very natural response to loss, very simply put. And a lot of times it's around, the feeling inside that deep pain is really around things that we didn't get to say or do or experience with the person or the thing. Because as we've talked about, loss is not just about the death of a loved one. It could be divorce, it could be career changes, health challenges, etc. So whatever that thing is that we've lost, it's, uncommunicated things that we haven't been able to express about that relationship. And the problem with, I think that we have with grief, especially in our culture, is that we aren't given the proper tools. We're given a saw and a hammer to paint a house instead of being given a paintbrush. And so because we don't have the right tools, we don't get to process it in a healthy way. So we avoid it, because it's not an easy process, especially if you don't have the right tools. So I think that's why people avoid it and really don't process it. They just, stuff it down, stuff it down, stuff it down. But then at some point, it's going to revisit us.
Wow, that's very relatable. Especially, I love that you mentioned in our culture, not having the proper tools, and some people are not pro therapy or getting assistance. It's like you get the 3 days off from work and you're just supposed to go back to your normal life, you know? So we understand the struggle, but as an individual, why do you feel that people just run from it?
I think the pain is just a little overwhelming. And one of the things that I work with my clients on is this gut check. And so it's really starting to identify the emotions that we feel so that we can face them. And then we get to decide what we do about them. But at least if we can be emotionally honest with ourselves, if not anyone
Mm.
else, then we can process the real feelings that are coming up. Because although I will debunk this myth, right? The five stages of grief are not for grievers. Catherine Kubler-Ross, the psychologist or psychiatrist that came up with the five stages of grief, she developed it for terminally ill patients. So there is no linear process in grief. You don't go through anger, denial, this linear stages of grief that we've been given. That's not true. So I wouldn't debunk that. But we do have different emotions that come up as we're processing our grief. And so it's important to be able to acknowledge, where am I? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling, sad? If I've gone through a divorce, am I feeling jealous? All of those emotions are fine, right? We get to feel how we feel. Now, what's important though is what we do about those emotions, right? So I think that we just have all these emotions that are coming up for us. And because we live in a society where certain emotions are deemed negative, we repress those. We don't get to say them out loud. We don't get to acknowledge them. And so then we don't get to process them. So we're just filled up with all of these emotions that we just don't know what to do with. So instead of trying to figure it out on our own with the wrong tools that we've been given all our lives, we just push it aside. Like, I don't have time for that. And a lot of us, especially like you said, as boss ladies, we're told, hey, keep it going. You don't have time for grief. You got to take care of those children. You have to get some money in this house. And so we're not even given the space to properly grieve the losses that we, encounter in our lives.
Mm, mm, mm. You are here dropping gems today. I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to become a grief recovery specialist? And this is intense work, and it just seems like you get so much joy from doing this work.
I really do. I had, one of my most significant losses was when my mom passed. And so I was her cheerleader. She was going through cancer treatments. I was her cheerleader, giving her all the positive encouragement, going to the doctor's appointment, supporting her through that whole process. And then when we got the news, she thought she beat it, but then, 5 years into her recovery, it came back and she was given a terminal diagnosis. And so when she died, that devastated me. But, I had was married at the time. I had my daughters who were older and they all really supported me through that and great friends. But then, I had other losses and, went through a divorce after a 23-year marriage. And you just keep moving. Like I said, we're just taught to just keep moving, keep moving. You don't have time to just sit down and have a pity party and just feel all the emotions. So I just kept moving forward. And then finally, I met and got back together with an old love. I'd had a crush on him all my life. And we had an amazing 6 years together. And unfortunately, he died from pancreatic cancer. And that sent me into a black hole of, I really didn't care about my future because my future was tied up with him. So without him, I didn't even know what it looked like. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the wherewithal. I just didn't have it in me to figure out life without him. So when I really was ambivalent about life, like, I could, I have a lot of people on the other side be so bad over there, and that was kind of a wake-up call for me, like, Monet, this is bad.
Mm.
And so I got help. And the grief recovery method is one of the tools that I was given. And so I know what it did for me. It gave me a whole new outlook on life. It gave me the tools, real tools that I can use in any kind of loss that I encounter in life. And to be able, right? Because if we don't process the grief, how can we free ourselves up? How can we free our hearts? How can we heal our hearts so that now we're available, right, to
Yeah.
create a new life? Because we are touched by those losses. We are affected. We are new people. Life looks different. So, in order to be able to tackle that and move forward and still create a life that we love, because we're still here on earth, we're
Yeah.
still here. So, we want to be able to enjoy this time that we have because it's not promised. But to be able to do that, we have to process the grief. And so it's my joy, it's my humble ability to just be able to work with people. I'm just really honored to do the work, but it's really about processing the grief, releasing the pain, and then let's figure out how we move forward.
Wow, you are a true boss lady. I don't want to get emotional. I mean, thank you for sharing that story. I did read in your bio where, and please correct me if I misquote, was that we
Mhm.
experience like 40 different types of grief in our lifetime. And,
Whew.
I heard a lot in what you said and some of the things that you didn't say. So for your clients, healing is the goal. I'm sure that's why they come to you because they want to be healed. What does that process look like for you and your clients when they secure your services?
So we go through the grief recovery method, and the grief recovery method is a 7-week program. But I know that we all process differently, so there is some wiggle room there. And I just let my clients dictate how long they take to go through the process. And so, what we do is we meet on a weekly basis. There is reading, there is homework. So, you're learning, my clients are being educated about these new tools and new ways of
Mhm.
looking at grief. And so, I've had clients who have, gone through divorce, they've gone through the death of a loved one, miscarriage, loss of career, loss of health, loss of faith, because there's intangible things that we lose,
Mm.
which would include loss of faith, loss of, trust. So there are all these different things that we can lose. And so the program is designed to handle any of those losses that we encounter in life. And so we go through that process, and then they're able to communicate some of the things that they weren't able to say to their loved one, or communicate the things and the feelings that they feel about money, right? We can grieve our relationship with money. So you're able to communicate all the things you feel that are hindering you from moving forward in your life, that you're holding on to, and that's, got you kind of stuck. And so we go through those things, and you're able to communicate some of those things through the process. But it's a solid 7-week program or more.
I love that, Monet. I love that you don't put a timeline on it because I can imagine that this is something that really is an individual process. And I love that you give your clients space to be in that process and accept them where they are.
Yeah.
For boss ladies,
Mhm.
how can we kind of prepare ourselves in any way or just find a way to kind of process grief or mentally or emotionally prepare for these things in meaningful ways?
So one of the things, like I said, a lot of times it's around our uncommunicated, the things we didn't say, the things we didn't do, the things we didn't experience. So when we're in those relationships, when we have the people that we love around us, it's so important to say what you feel, right? To really have true conversation and connection with the people, the things, the experiences that we have in life so that we don't have so much that was unsaid or undone when we lose these things. So that's part of it. It's like really living to the fullest and as emotionally honest as possible. So this gut check I told you about just briefly is really just every morning wake up, ask yourself, how do you feel? How am I feeling? Like, what am I feeling
Mm.
this morning? Am I feeling, a little apprehensive? Am I feeling some self-doubt? Am I feeling angry? And then you say, okay, so why am I feeling like this? What happened? Did
Mm.
something happen yesterday or the day before? What is it that provoked this emotion? And so you figure out what it was, oh my goodness, it was a conversation I had 3 days ago and it stuck with me. So then you're like, okay, so what do I do about it? And are there any beliefs, right, attached to this feeling of self-doubt? Well, I've been struggling with this self-doubt. So my beliefs around my abilities are blah, blah, blah. Like really think about what are your beliefs around this emotion that you're feeling and the way you were triggered from that conversation.
Mm.
And then you get to say, okay, so what am I going to do about it? Do I need to have a conversation with this person? Is it work I need to do
Mm.
on me? It doesn't have anything to do with this person that triggered me. It's my work. So I have to do some work on me. And so you decide, okay, what am I going to do about it? And then you just are able to either do something or say, you know what? It's not worth, whatever it is that you decide, you get to decide. You need to be intentional about what you do about that feeling. And so I really think that that helps us to continue to be emotionally honest so that when we do lose things, when things come up, we're in a better space
Yeah.
around it. We don't have a lot of stuff we've already been holding on, and now you put
Right.
grief on top of it, and like I'm overwhelmed now, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So I think that can help.
Mm. Oh,
That's
Monet, I
powerful.
just want to say you have the best calming voice.
Oh, oh.
You
You
are
really
definitely
do.
walking in your light. I'm sitting here like, ah.
I feel like
I
I'm being
mean,
healed right now.
right. I was like, where do we sign up? Okay,
It's all the
sorry. I
love and
mean,
just give me love, love,
it's
love,
the
love,
love in the
love.
room. I'm just like, ah. We could just have like some jazz music under. I mean, let me be clear. This is a very serious topic. And, Boss Lady Conversations was launched in the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, through the pandemic, we've all experienced a number of losses that you have talked about.
Mhm.
And so, we're definitely not taking this lightly, but your voice is so calming. Like you could just tell that this is your path, despite how you got here.
Mhm.
And, we know that we all have a purpose in life. So I just want to commend you because you pretty much already answered our questions in advance because you're just so, you're just an amazing woman. So I just wanted to say that you are
Oh,
amazing
thank you.
and
I
keep doing the
appreciate
work of healing these communities. I think I'm ready to sign up already. So yes.
it.
So thank you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And also laughter is part of it.
It is.
Right? Like it's a life. Like
Yeah.
we are living, breathing human beings.
Yes.
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 And that's so
What do you,
important.
yeah, go ahead.
That's so important to me because I feel like the grief
Mm.
work is heavy sometimes. It can be very
Hmm.
heavy. You're coming into a person's life at a very difficult and challenging and sometimes dark time. And you have to have reverence for that and you have to tread lightly and really work with that person's heart because their heart is broken. But then I really love bringing them through and then we get to say, okay. So now that you can breathe a little, you can see a little more clearly, how do you want
Right.
to move forward? And that piece of it is really important to me too, because I think, we hold joy and sadness together, right? They're the
Yes.
other sides of the coin. You can't have the reason why we feel such deep grief and sadness is because we know what happiness is, right?
Yeah.
And the reason we can be so happy is because we know what sadness is. So without one or the other, we need them
Mm.
both, right? And it's
Yes.
okay to hold both. It's okay. We are going to have times when we're sad, and it's okay. Like our children, we don't want to tell our children, don't feel bad. No, you get to feel bad. Yes, it's
Mm.
okay. You're going to live through that feeling bad. It's okay
Mm,
to be sad. It's okay to miss, and so it's important that we teach our children, right? We give them the
Right.
tools to be able to process grief. So then they grow up into adults that are very well acclimated to processing grief and being able to move forward through grief.
that's right. Not easily
Mhm.
broken, not easily broken.
Right. Hmm.
So we know that you have also been a living demonstration of your work. And so what are you looking forward to at this time in your life? How have you been able to kind of move forward and embrace new experiences and new opportunities?
So I'm definitely that person. I feel like I'm a seeker, right? I think there's some people that, that feel comfortable in their lives and I'm good. Like I don't really need to do a lot else. I've reached a point, especially at my age, a lot of people are retiring and
Hmm.
they just, they're comfortable in what they're doing. But I'm like, I'm always looking for a new adventure. It's important to me. I feel like I'm just always looking to improve and grow and learn something new. So my newest adventure is moving to Panama next year. So I've always wanted to move abroad, or live abroad. And so I've been doing my research. And as I approach this stage in my life, my daughters are adults. I have grandchildren and my family is everything to me. I have a
Yeah.
partner that I care about, and we share a residence and our lives together. But this part is for me. It's for me. I want to experience this. I want to experience a new culture personally. I have found it difficult to be in the US under these circumstances we're in recently. Especially as an empath, you feel so much, and it can be
Mm.
difficult to move in a world that doesn't feel safe sometimes, and you see the pain that people you love and care about, or you're connected with in some way, are experiencing. Is difficult, and so I need that break. I need a break to live somewhere else
Yes.
where things are a little simpler and people are more important than money. And so I find that
Mm.
in Panama, the culture. There's a beautiful community of Black women expats that I've been able to connect with.
Mm.
And I don't want that to just be my world. I don't want to live an American life in Panama. I
Right.
do want to meet Panamanians, but I'll be a single person when I go over, because my partner, even if he does decide to go, is not going to go right away. And so, I will be there by myself sometimes. So it's so important for me to feel like I have some connection and community day one.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
important.
I'm so excited about that. If I hate it, I'll come back. You can always come back, but at least try
Okay.
things, right? Just try the things that are on
Mm.
your hearts, because that's what I've learned too through all the loss I've experienced. I lost a generation of our family over a 4-year period, and I was an elder in my 40s. And seeing them just lose their lives in their 60s, I want to live and I want to experience as much as I can, while I have this time on the earth. And I think we all should. We should do the things on our hearts. Don't keep putting it off, and we put it off. And then one day, it's too late and you don't have that time anymore.
Gym after gym after gym. Go for it, because I'm coming to visit.
Yes,
We
yes,
coming.
please.
As soon as you
Please
say
do.
it is
We
ready,
could do
I'm
one location
coming.
in Panama, Boss
That's
Ladies in
right.
Panama.
That's
Yes, yes.
right.
What a retreat. That's the sneak. Yes, peak. Yes, yes,
I love
yes,
it. I
yes.
love it.
Amazing. So tell
Yes.
us who inspires you to keep bossing up in your work and personal life? Where do you get your
So
inspiration from?
my daughters are a big inspiration, because I wanna be the person that I want my life to inspire them. I don't want them to necessarily do what I do, but I want them to be inspired to go after what's in their
Mm.
hearts,
I love
and to
that.
feel empowered and courageous enough to just go for it,
Yeah.
regardless, because, even sometimes in love, we play small because it's scary and we don't want to get our feelings hurt, and we might just be rejected and all those things. But hey, try it. What? You will survive.
You will survive.
Promise. I promise the sun is going to rise the next day. I promise this.
And you still gonna have to pay your bills.
Exactly. So it's like, try it. If you don't at
Boom.
least try it, then you will never know if there's some great love out there for you. Just at least try it. So I really encourage my daughters, and now my granddaughters, my grandson, to really just go
Wow.
for what's on their hearts and go after the life
Mm.
that they want. I was in the corporate world for many years,
Mhm.
and that wasn't my calling, but I did it because I could make the money. And I just encourage them, find something you love now while you're young enough, and as you build your career, the money will come, but do
Always.
something you love. So they really encourage me to live my life to my fullest because I want to be an example to them. But my rock star, total, I'm in awe of her, is Tina Turner.
Ah,
She's,
yes.
there's so much about her story and the woman she became and how she lived her life that I truly admire her courage, her tenacity,
Mm.
just, everything that she
Mhm.
went through, and she
Yeah.
never let it stop her. And look at what she
She-
attained in her life. Look at the life she led because
Mm.
she didn't let, those confines, those things just stop her from,
That's
doing
right.
what she knew she was
My God.
destined to do. She didn't let life stop her. And that's a real encouraging testimony, I think, for all of us to just keep going. Don't let life beat you down so bad that you don't believe in your dreams anymore. Don't ever, 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 don't let life do that to you.
Wow, Monet, you are incredible. I feel like this episode is going to get somebody off the couch and
Oh.
into the airport or wherever they need to go. Like, this just is so uplifting. This is for somebody, somebody. And I think if we can touch one person, right, then we have done our
Yeah.
job here on this earth. So I just want to thank you for your courage, for your wisdom. And please keep us updated on how you're doing. And we
Yeah.
want to know about your journey and all the lives that you're touching, especially your own. Please tell our listeners and viewers where they can find you.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you guys for the work you do because of all the people you're touching. You're still out there. You're on the podcast. You're on YouTube. You're out there and you're trying to reach as many people as you possibly can. And you never ever know the effect you're having on someone's life. So thank you for the work you guys do because
Mm.
as uplifting as I am, as many gems as I have, you guys have it too. You have a beautiful presence. I've loved being on your show, and any of the conversations we've had have been wonderful for me as well. So I get as much from you guys as you have gotten from me. So thank you.
Oh, thank
And
you.
for your listeners, I have a Heal Your Heart challenge. So it's a 30-day challenge. So if I sent the link, and I'm hoping you can put the link in the comments, but they can use the link to sign up for the 30-day Heal Your Heart challenge. And
Yeah,
for 30 days, they'll get an inspiration and a journal prompt to help
Mm.
them in healing their heart so they can live and create a life that they love.
incredible. There it is. There it is. Y'all can thank us later. Y'all can thank us today. You're welcome.
Right.
Thank
Yes,
you again,
yes.
Monet.
Oh, thank you
Right.
so much. It's been my
All
pleasure,
right.
really.
Boss Lady Conversations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, boss ladies, are you ready to boss up and experience the next best chapter of your life? Well, that's exactly what our Boss Lady Manifesto Journal was designed to do. Don't take our word for it, though. Check out the countless Amazon reviews from boss ladies all over the world. And remember that the power to co-create the life of your dreams lives in your faith. We dare you to grab your pen, gather your thoughts, and take control of your actions. The Boss Lady Manifesto Journal is on sale at Amazon right now. Go get your blessings.